So this is kind of one I've been wanting to talk about for a while because I'm starting to notice a pattern when it comes to faith YouTube and this particular subject, and how there is little to no nuance to it. Let's dive in a bit.
Peanut butter and jelly. I say, man, what the hell is he saying? What does this mean? Anyway, peanut butter jelly, no jelly. I say, oh my God, he went even deeper. He want peanut butter and jelly, not from a deli though. Yeah.
You realize this bullshit, right? That you're giving him credit as this incredible artist who's tapping into some unknown musical power when all he's doing is repeating what he had for breakfast?
Just let him go. Just let him go. And usually, man, we end up at a great place, man.
You end up with blithering nonsense!
So there's a bit of an odd debate, or was an odd debate, whenever it comes up, to an extent. Mostly from, funny enough, Protestant YouTube channels, because I don't see anyone else talking about this. Do with that information what you will, people of other denominations. And I will just throw it out right here. I think it's mostly a semblance of people jumping at shadows, some actually having some good points, and some just not making sense and not really thinking about their arguments. So let's actually get into this a bit. So, secular music. Well, now what is the definition, the actual definition of secular? Now, secular in on itself is not evil, obviously. Secular is basically just anything that's just not religious in foundation, basically. So something like your phone or computer, or just like a regular Marvel t-shirt, technically that's secular, right? What's funny about that is that whenever the word is used, it's always negative. Now, I understand why, because just because it's so technically supposed to be neutral, quote unquote, doesn't automatically mean it's good or just or so on. It means it's open to corruption, which I understand, and I kind of agree with that to an extent. The problem with that is that, well, when people demonize secularism to an extent, and I'm not defending it, I'm just making a point, they tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So let's go in a little bit here. So when it comes to secular music, right, like the music industry in on itself, I'm gonna say a few things here. Now, I do agree with these channels in that, yes, there are some questionable and oddly, one could even point out some semi-demonic things going on in mainstream music videos and some of their imagery and some of their concerts and stuff like that. And the funny thing is that allegations against a lot of the pop and some rap artists, mostly the popular people, these go back almost like a decade ago. Like, you know, fast forward and wind the clock back a while. It's back when the Illuminati, like, conspiracy theory thing was getting head off, which, funny enough, as things kind of transpired, were kind of built on some truth. Kind of funny how things happen where a little bit of truth is found out and then it's swept away with complete nonsense. It's kind of interesting how that constantly happens, as I've mentioned in my last video. But anyway, let's continue. Rap and pop are two genres that are kind of like, I'm noticing bombarded the most, that these channels, and I'm not really naming anyone in particular, it's just they all lump together. I'm not the biggest fan of faith YouTube, and every time this topic comes up, it's almost every single channel within this demographic, and they all pretty much say the same thing. They all pretty much hate the same genres. And the irony is that they all just demonize it and just call it all secular music. When the funny thing is, from what I've noticed, the things they hate the most is just rap and pop, you know, modern contemporary stuff. And, well, to an extent, I might agree with them to an extent, but they tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as mentioned before. But yes, agreed, there are some things in rap that I do not like. As a matter of fact, despite being black myself, I'm not a fan of rap, and not contemporary rap at least. And even so, there's this whole other subgenre, drill rap, which is pretty much exactly what people, well, what they say it is.
Lisa's telling me I should bring up drill rap. And whatever that is.
No, drill rap.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. It's the devil.
What is it?
Let's kill people and then make songs about how we killed your homie and then we smoked a L weed in celebration of your dead homie.
Yep. Is this is like popular and common?
Yeah, it's dying out now. Especially with Dirk facing them charges that he facing in Cali right now.
What is that? What is that?
Lil Durk is a Chicago drill rapper that, you know, was changing his life. I'm gonna say on the surface was changing his life, right? He just got hit with a murder for hire beef. So they got him in Miami, held him in Miami Federal Detention Center, shot him over to California to see charges on this, alleged charges on. I wasn't there. I don't know none of these folks is whatever, but he calls himself the voice of the streets, right? Drill rap is in essence, reality rap was NWA, Dr. Dre, Cube, and them saying, this is what we're dealing with. Like, people the police are beating us up, right? And then when Rodney King happens, everybody's like, oh my God. And then everybody, again, in the hood was like, yeah, it's Tuesday. Like,
right.
you know what I mean?
That happens. Yeah.
It just got filmed. So reality rap got marketed and co-opted and turned into so-called gangster rap. Gangster rap became a glorified commodity to sell people a concept to get them to go do things that strengthens the prison industrial complex.
Yep.
Right? So now that more people are becoming more disillusioned with gangster rap and you got a person that could control the world musically by making love songs, now that's dying. Now you get drill rap. We're going to kill you. We're going to confess on record in a song about how we smoked your homie.
How don't they just get arrested?
Sometimes and sometimes not.
Sometimes they just wait to build a case on them. Like, for example, they'll know they killing people, but they want a big enough case on this person. So, like, they'll keep track. Okay, they killed this person. They killed that person. They sold this amount of drugs. They was pushing this many pounds. They'll wait 5 years.
Yeah.
And they'll get this big, okay, we caught you killing all 5 of those people. We got all the drugs you sold for the last 20. So that way they can railroad you and get you good.
Or,
Go ahead.
Or you are under the assumption that the people that are supposed to arrest and stop the killing
Want to?
want to or have a vested interest in we devils.
Then you get into the whole argument of whether or not music actually affects people, in which this is 100% more of a nuanced topic. Now, yes and no, music does affect people in different ways, but it's not in the ways people think. Yes, people notice certain things or they hear certain things and they start to like it because their brains react to the patterns and the repetition within the song. You see that with rap and you see that with pop. Well, kind of with rap. I, for one, cannot stand a lot of the modern crap coming out now. A lot of the beats in it are just remixed to just heck and back and they sound absolutely terrible. And it has been a trick that's been used for a long time now. So whenever I hear people say, oh, well, you're going to like that song eventually. No, you're not. You're just brainwashing yourself into thinking that you're going to like it. It's because you like the repetition of it.
Being able to say a phrase to a rhythm and then repeating it? Do you honestly believe that if I had made a song with those exact words, peanut butter jelly, and it didn't become a relatively popular song, it has nothing to do with the marketability of its eccentricity. No, it's because Young Thug is the only one that could imbue these words with the grandiloquent iteration they require. No! They repeated a phrase, and your brain likes to notice simple patterns because it feels at its safest when things around it are nice and predictable. And hey, when I hear it all the time on the radio, my brain lights up to the recognition of the patterns also.
Like, let's really stop and think about this for a minute, which I know no one actually does whenever this topic comes up. If music 100% affected people all the same way, right, then that would mean, like, subjectivity isn't a thing. Subjectivity isn't a thing. Let's really break that down. If this were true, then personal opinion and preference is not a thing. Everyone would like every single genre of music, every single song, every single album that has came out. Meaning that, oh yeah, by the way, all bands like Nickelback and Creed and all the others have never gotten backlash and all this other crap. No, that has not happened. A lot of bands get backlash all the time. People don't like certain bands, people don't like certain genres, people don't like certain music. That's been the case. There are people who aren't like that Christian or rather some are atheists and they hate a lot of the music that's out. There's a lot of people that don't like rap music. There's a lot of people that don't like pop music. Let me just make this very, very clear and simple here. Like, demonic or not, like, I'm gonna be frank here. Like, Christian YouTubers who complain about this stuff, like, y'all don't hate secular music, y'all hate contemporary music. Y'all are just too stupid to tell the difference.
In the early 2000s, labels stopped signing rock bands, essentially, because it was way too resource intensive. It was far easier to sign artists that could make their own music using a laptop and a microphone. Why is this a bad thing? Well, let's start with the creative dependency on technology limits the ability of people to innovate, I believe. Could be wrong about that. Maybe it helps them innovate. I don't think so, though. The homogenization of music. The over-reliance on similar tools, as I just brought up with the amp models, creates a lack of diversity. I think that leads to music becoming more formulaic and people just following trends of using certain types of sounds. This is why these trap beats have been in vogue for the last 20 years. People they know they work, so they just keep using them all the time. Quality versus quantity. This is a big, big thing. Okay, so the easier production makes the process go faster, which creates an oversaturation of music, making it harder to find really exceptional things. So this is the water faucet in my kitchen. But imagine this is streaming on Spotify or Apple Music. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, but what's going on in the stream of water is all of the music that's on these platforms. Now imagine this is one artist's entire output, their entire catalog. Might be The Police, could be Billie Eilish, could be Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. And then this dropper is each of their songs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I just did a whole record there. And eventually you exhaust their whole catalog. When I hit this and I start the stream, the music has very little importance if you think about it this way. It goes from the faucet, down the drain, out to the sewer, where it's recycled again. Except in this case, the music is not recycled like it is through the sewer. There were 100,000 new songs added every day in 2023 to streaming platforms. That's more than one song per second for the entire year. I'm talking about all of Michael Jackson's music, all of AC/DC, Pink Floyd, Whitney Houston, Tupac, Kendrick Lamar, Juice WRLD, Eminem, Dr. Dre, all the works of Beethoven, of Bach, of Mozart, of Stravinsky, of Shostakovich, of Charlie Parker, of John Coltrane, of Miles Davis, Brad Meldo, of Pat Metheny, Keith Jarrett, all of that. $10.99 a month for the price of what we used to pay for one album. It's all available on these streaming platforms, which is why music is not as valued by young people. There is no sweat equity put into obtaining it, having it be part of your collection, having it be part of your identity of who you are. These are the bands I believe in. These are the artists that I love. And I'm going to share it with my friends. I'm going to bring that record to school. I'm going to play it for my friends after school. We're all hanging out, reading the back cover of it and seeing who played on it. These things meant something. What was on here meant something. Produced by John Burns and Genesis. It was important. What I'm saying is that music has basically become valueless.
And another thing, another case in point, no one on the left likes Tom McDonald. You know, the right-wing independent rapper who talks about how much the left sucks. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, if all music was liked and all of it affects people and everyone liked it, wouldn't that mean everyone would like Tom? No, he's hated by many people. So yeah, that's another case in point. If like music, like I said before, operated as you fundamentalists say, then pretty much he'd be liked by, he and a bunch of other people would be liked by everyone who isn't a Christian, which is not the case. Like, come on. And regardless, like I mentioned before, the contemporary stuff, like most of this stuff sucks anyway. The top charts is terrible. I never liked that stuff. They all sound the same, they all blend together, they all bleed together. There's nothing good about them, they all say the same crap. But the real issue here on the Christian side of things is that we're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like, oh yeah, all secular music is evil. Okay, what type? Oh, well, just secular music. Okay then, so that means Elvis and Little Richard and Chuck Berry, and like, really? Y'all expect me to throw the baby out of the bathwater with those guys? Really? Like, we're not going to talk about the classic rock and rolls of the 70s and 60s? We're not going to talk about Jimi Hendrix? I guess Jimi Hendrix is demonic now. That's silly. That's silly. And I don't understand. Like, I want the takeaway of this to be that y'all are not entirely wrong, right? There's some artists that are questionable, they all shouldn't listen to, but at the same time, have some level of discernment and don't throw the baby out the bathwater. Like, I'm not gonna stop listening to Shine All because Lil Nas X did one silly music video of him giving Satan a lap dance. That's really stupid. That's counterintuitive. That's the equivalent of getting food poisoning at Taco Bell and deciding to not go to an actual local Mexican restaurant. Y'all do realize there's a bunch of choices out there that y'all can pick. Y'all don't always have to listen to K-Love all the time, guys. Not that I'm knocking it, but I am getting real sick and tired of seeing Tim's songs being played. I really don't like radio in general. Like, honestly. Why is it that the R&B Christian channel is way better than most of those? I will never understand. I guess we're just better at it than most other people, honestly. At least when it comes to Christianity stuff. Seriously, like, why are black people better at music in some circumstances? Well, we used to be, honestly. Rock and roll was our genre, and that's a rant for another day, honestly. Our Christian music is definitely better, though. I will definitely fight on that regard. Most Christian music kind of is fast and loose, though. I mean, I'll sing it at church, sure, but, like, some of it, just like most contemporary stuff, tends to bleed together. So, yeah. I hope y'all listen to this and acknowledge that there's a level of nuance here, and don't just throw the baby out the bathwater, like I say, and I'm going to keep saying that. And I really hope if any of those channels do come across this video, they actually give it a full shot and actually listen to what I have to say. And yeah, it's sad to say the least. And if anyone, I swear to the Almighty, if anyone dares call me lukewarm for daring have the audacity to just say, hey, there's nuance in this debate, y'all didn't listen to me, and you are the problem. And you're the reason why so many are turning atheist, by the way. Fundamentalism creates atheism. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Alright, so I guess I'll end my little discussion there. A little mini rant over. Post your thoughts in the comments below, or at least those of you who actually watched the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good jazz, share. Let me know what other topics you want me to cover. I got a handful in my head. But be sure to, as per usual, take care and stay chill, Wanderers.